Hello, I'm Taeko Koya from Hosei University in Japan. Thank you for choosing to watch this presentation. The title of my talk is Developing a Specialized Vocabulary List for Novice Researchers in Corpus and Collocation Studies. I hope you find it interesting and relevant to your study field. The key words of this study are ESP, English for Specific Purposes, Specialized Vocabulary List, Corpus, Collocation, Novice Researchers, and Research Efficiency. Here's today's outline: purpose, literature review, method, results, and conclusion. Let me talk about the purpose of this study first. This study aims to develop an effective vocabulary list for undergraduate and graduate students beginning research in a specific field. For early career researchers, reading and writing academic papers in English is a crucial yet challenging task that necessitates a strong command of specialized vocabulary. Acquiring key research terms and their English equivalents not only enhances linguistic proficiency, but also lays a solid foundation for their academic career and improves research efficiency. Now I'd like to move on to the next section, literature review. Among many papers related to a vocabulary list for novice researchers in Japan, I will show you these 6 papers according to the time order from the middle of 2000 through the beginning of 2020s. What is the purpose of creating the vocabulary list? Across all 6 studies, the shared purpose of creating the vocabulary list is to support learners in acquiring effective and practical English vocabulary tailored to their specific fields and learning stages. More specifically, the purposes are to help learners acquire vocabulary not as isolated words, but in authentic contexts such as collocations and specialized fields. To select appropriate vocabulary according to learners' levels and fields. For example, tourism, economics, law, engineering, or young learners. To fill gaps where existing general vocabulary lists, such as general service list and academic word list, do not adequately cover specialized or context-specific vocabulary needs. In short, the ultimate goal is to optimize vocabulary learning for each target group and enhance both learning efficiency and practical language use. Next, what do the 6 studies have in common? The 6 studies share the following key features: clear identification of target learners. Each study specifies the target learner's field, age, or proficiency level. For example, tourism majors, economics students, legal professionals, first-year engineering students, children. Data-driven vocabulary selection. All the studies use objective data, corpora, textbooks, research papers, BNC, and so on, and statistical methods, for example, frequency, collocation analysis, to select vocabulary. Focus on educational application. The vocabulary lists are designed for practical classroom and learning use, not merely for linguistic description. This includes setting learner-friendly labels and providing helpful Japanese translations. Bridging existing Gaps. The studies aim to complement existing vocabulary resources by addressing gaps, especially where generalists fail to meet specialized or academic needs. In summary, all 6 projects are unified by the goal of creating practical, learner-centered vocabulary lists based on data analysis to enhance English education by bridging the gap between general and specialized vocabulary learning. In this study, I've decided to create a vocabulary list based on these previous research. Okay, now I'd like to talk about the method. To create a vocabulary list of key terms, the analysis centers on 2 main processes: corpus construction and vocabulary list development. Research papers related to the keywords collocation and corpus were randomly collected from Applied Linguistics, a journal focused on research and discussion within the field of applied linguistics, and Academia Edu, an online platform for academics to share research papers. Based on these, a corpus of approximately 300,000 words was compiled. During the construction of the corpus, some elements like author names and figures were manually removed. Tools. AntConc is a free corpus analysis tool developed by Lawrence Anthony. By loading text files, users can analyze academic texts using key functions such as word list, concordance, keyword list, and collocates. These features make AntConc especially useful for identifying important academic vocabulary and understanding how such terms function within specialized texts. GoTagar, a morphological analysis tool developed by Kazuaki Goto, was used in this study to assign part-of-speech tags to words in the corpus. Post-tagging helps identify grammatical categories such as nouns and verbs, which is especially useful in academic texts where many words are polysemous. New Word Level Checker, a web app for vocabulary profiling, developed by Atsushi Mizumoto, was also used to analyze English words submitted by the user and produce vocabulary levels based on the selected word list. I used one of the most trustworthy word lists, New Jacet 8000. This list was developed based on some corpora like BNC and COCA and categorizes 8,000 words into 8 levels, each with 1,000 words, and reflects the vocabulary needs of Japanese learners. Here is a description of each level of New Jacet 8000. Levels 1 to 3 are words learned until high school, so they were basically excluded from the scope of this study. 3 selection criteria are set in this study: keenness score, frequency, vocabulary level. Only words meeting all 3 criteria were selected. Selection criteria are shown in this table. Now I'm going to explain the results. A total of 180 words were selected based on frequency, keenness score, and vocabulary levels necessary for Japanese learners of English. This pie chart shows the number of selected words by POS, part of speech. Over 80% of the 180 selected words are nouns or adjectives. The remaining words include those that function as both noun and adjective, for example, core, undergraduate, as well as acronyms such as GSL, General Service List, and NNS, non-native speaker. This indicates that vocabulary lists for students beginning research in a specialized field are primarily composed of nouns and adjectives. This bar chart shows the number of selected words by level. Words at levels 4 and 5, which correspond to vocabulary typically covered in general university education, make up nearly 40% of the entire list. This level includes a variety of highly versatile words that are likely to be used across different academic fields. For example, administer, explicit, framework, as well as terms related to general language and vocabulary. For example, grammar, literary usage, and academic writing, for example, hypothesis questionnaire. Verbs also appeared frequently. 9 out of the 11 selected verbs fall within levels 4 and 5. This suggests that such verbs are not necessarily field-specific, but rather general verbs that are typically used in combination with domain-specific nouns. For example, perceive, classify. Overall, many of the selected words are suitable for study prior to engaging in academic research and are broadly useful for university-level learners. From level 6 and above, more terms were commonly found in linguistics, such as reliability, noun, discourse, metaphor, competence, communicative, and comprehension. Specialized terms related to vocabulary research, such as lexicon and corpus, are also observed, along with part-of-speech terms like adjective and verb. Corpus names such as COCA, BNC, and entente fall under the NA, not available category, while acronyms like GSL and NNS are classified and are proper nouns. Specialized terms that fall under the NA or proper noun categories often require additional explanation, and such information is provided in the notes column. For example, if other word forms of a selected item also appear with high frequency or rank as key terms, they are described together in the notes for the core entry. Related terms are also included in the notes section. For instance, both ADJ, the abbreviation for adjective, and adjectival are recorded under the notes for adjective. Similarly, the entry for node includes associated collocates listed in the notes. This list shows the 31 selected words at level 4 and below. This list shows 42 selected words at level 5. This list shows the 22 selected words at level 6. This list shows the 22 selected words at level 7. This list shows the 16 selected words at level 8. This list shows some of the 38 selected words at NA not available. This list shows the rest of the selected words at NA and 9 at proper nouns. Moving on to the final point, conclusion. This study aimed to support undergraduate and graduate students in starting to conduct research in their specialized fields by constructing a corpus based on research articles related to corpus and collocation studies, and by developing a corresponding vocabulary list. The list was created based on frequency, keenness scores, and vocabulary levels as defined by the new JASET 8000. The vocabulary list is intended to facilitate the identification of essential terms within a given field, thereby enhancing academic reading skills. Furthermore, by providing information on related word forms and specialized terminology, the list supports broader vocabulary acquisition and deeper understanding of subject-specific knowledge. It is hoped that this study will contribute not only to existing body of research, but also to improving learners' academic reading and writing skills across disciplines. In this study, word meanings were manually identified based on contextual interpretation, which may have introduced occasional inaccuracies. With recent advancements in natural language processing, automated systems capable of understanding context may significantly improve accuracy. However, building such systems requires deeper expertise in the target domain, which poses a major challenge. Creating specialized vocabulary lists may be a valuable step toward this goal, and further research is needed. The present corpus consists of approximately 300,000 words from 60 research articles. Expanding the corpus size could enable the identification of a wider range of relevant terms across subfields. At the same time, careful consideration must be given to corpus selection, whether to include only closely related papers or a broader range regardless of topic similarity. Since this vocabulary list was designed for beginners in research, the number of selected words was kept limited. Corpus and list design should be tailored to the intended learning stage and purpose. This study focused on constructing the vocabulary list itself. Future work should explore effective ways of delivering and utilizing the list in learning environment. Collaboration with educational technology research will be essential in developing appropriate and impactful learning strategies. Here is the main reference list. That concludes my presentation. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact me. Thank you very much for your attention.